there's so much more that is going on. It's a very fun, very good-hearted, sweet, light book. What was that in that book that made me like it? There are so many weird topics, but we just open them and read them. I always like reading different books, different kind of books. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. The year is not over yet, but I have already read so many amazing books this year and I want to share them with you all. So in this video, we are going to talk about 10 best books of 2021 so far. As the year will progress, there might be some addition or deletion to this stack of favorite books or top 10 books of 2021. But yeah, for now, these are the 10 books that I absolutely loved this year. And yeah, let's not waste much time, let's get started. These books are not in any particular order. I am going to randomly pick up one book and start talking about it, why I loved it and what was that in that book that made me like it, and that means what made its place in my top 10. So yeah, let's get started now. Okay, so book that I'm going to start with is The Rosie Project. Now, why I have picked up this book in my top 10 is because I had been waiting to read a book like this for a long time. It's a very fun, very good-hearted, sweet, light book. Means I wanted to read that kind of fiction, light fiction, because I love sitcoms like Friends, Big Bang Theory. So it is kind of like that it's very light-hearted and very simple and very sweet book. It was very funny to read and very entertaining, and I just couldn't put it down because I always wanted to read more because the characters were so lovable. It's about a scientist, Don, who's a little socially inept. Little would be undermining it. He's very socially inept. He does not really know how society works. He's not good at that, but he's very smart. So he devises a wife project to find his perfect wife. And all that goes on after that. He meets a girl, Rosie, who's totally incompatible to him if you consider the wife project. But after that, all that happens. It's very fun, very entertaining to read. So yes, if you want to read a book like this, different, very light-hearted fiction, very funny book that will help you laughing and smiling, then this is the book for you. Next, we'll go for a non-fiction, and the book that I really liked, it's Freakonomics. Now again, why I really like this book is there are so many interesting concepts in this book. It's an economics book, but it's not a typical economics book. Instead of just numbers and basic things, instead of researching about that, the author of this book, he tries out all the weird things. He tries to find the reason behind all these weird things. So it was very fun. And okay, so let me give you examples. There are chapters on his findings in this book. I'm going to tell you the name of the chapter so you have an idea about what kind of content this book has. Okay, some of the chapters are like this. What do school teachers and sumo wrestlers have in common? Why do drug dealers still live with their moms? Where have all the criminals gone? What makes a perfect parent? So you get the idea. He tries to find out meaning or relationship behind all kind of random things and weird things. So it was very fun and very intriguing to read. If you have that curious mind, if you want to know different kind of things, sometimes you are scrolling on Google or Facebook and there are so many weird topics, but we just open them and read them because we are curious to read about all sort of things. So those are less relevant here. It's perfect research. The topics are weird or different, but the research is real, the results are real. So yeah, means if you have that curious mind, if you want to read about something different, if you want to know something different, then you can pick this one up. Next one that I'm going to pick up, it's fiction, short stories, and it's first person singular by Murakami. And yeah, so before reading this book, I had not read short stories ever. I read some in school, but that's all. And I don't know why I underestimated short stories. For some reason I did. I thought, short stories, they won't be that good as compared to a novel. But I was clearly wrong. They were better. I got this book, and when I got this book, I had really no idea that these are short stories. But when I read them, they were obviously great. So it's like for a novel you have to invest so much time reading it, and there's so much build up. Short stories, they start fast, they build up fast, and they end fast. So means I read this book so fast because every time a short story used to get over, I wanted to go on to next. I wanted to read another story. I wanted to read another one. So yeah, means, and especially the way he writes, like the way Murakami writes, it's very intriguing, and it has that magical realism touch of his, and the ending on a cliffhanger and all those things. So I was very, and some of the stories are also autobiographical. So you'll be very interested in reading this when you know that Murakami has told you a part of his own life. So yes, in this book he has written about complex things very simply, and yeah, I mean you are really going to have a great time reading this book. If you want to try reading short stories for a change, then you can start with this, because I absolutely enjoyed reading this book. Okay, so next book that I am going to pick up, it's a crime thriller. It's none other than Turn a Blind Eye by Jeffrey Archer. I recently read this book. Now, this is the first Jeffrey Archer that I read. I had seen him a lot in bookstores, but I never picked it up for some reason. And when I got this book, I was like, okay, let's read this. And in the starting, I found it a little boring. Maybe because this is the third part. I did not know that this is the third part. So, it was a little difficult because I could feel it. It was not the first part. So, understanding the character took a little time. But after that, oh my god, I just couldn't stop. This book affected my sleeping pattern because I just could not put this one down. I just had to know more. It's a crime thriller, and there's a person that the police is trying to find, trying to capture, and there's so much more that is going on, and there's a court case also. So I really like that side also. Like, I loved watching Suits. I loved watching White Collar. So it has those two shows elements also, criminal cases, criminals getting out of hand, and law, and like whatnot. The book is written so well that you will find it very, very hard to put it down. So if you are interested in this kind of genre, if you want to read a crime thriller, then yes, no book is better than this. Out of all the crime thrillers that I have read till now, this one was no doubt the best. And a sequel is coming, so I'm very excited about that. Next one on my list is Rich Dad Poor Dad. I chose this book because I learned a lot from this book. Now, this book won't really tell you each and everything about personal finance, but it will tell you a lot. Like, if you do not really have that background, because I personally I had a science background, I did not read economics or etc. You should at least know how to manage your finances, even if you do not know everything about it. It's very important. Whatever profession you are in, whatever business you are in, you should know how to keep your money, how to multiply your money. And a lot has been told in this book, and I was very intrigued. I was very, it was kind of a mind-opening book that, I do not realize these things. When I picked this book up, I thought it would have the basic things that, you should save more, invest. So I was like, I know these things, I know that. But no, this book was really eye-opening. And even if it cannot tell you each and everything, because many things in this book are from US perspective, which won't apply to India. But the philosophy is great, and yes, everyone should definitely read this book to have a basic understanding of personal finance, or why it is important and why you should develop that skill, and everything about it. So yes, I consider this a must read. Next book that I'm going to pick up, it's another fiction. It's The 40 Rules of Love, and it was very different from any of the fiction that I have read. It has that mystic element, and I was very, I'm not getting the proper word for it, but yeah, I liked it in a different sort of way. Like, I'm still not able to decide whether I like this book or not. But yeah, if there is that question, I've decided to put it in my list of books that I like. This book is about Ella, an unhappy housewife who one day finds a manuscript that is sent to her, and she starts reading it, and she starts connecting with the author of that script. And in that script, she reads all about Sufism, Rumi, Shams Tabrizi, and she reads about 40 rules of love, and that sets her off on a different path. She sets off on a journey of herself, leaving behind her husband and her kids. She sets on her own path and she decides to discover love, to discover faith, to discover life. As it is said on the cover, she sets on a path into an exotic world where faith and love are heartbreakingly explored. So yeah, that is the essence of the book. So yeah, very different book for me, and yes, something different. I always like reading different books, different kind of books, even different in fiction and different in non-fiction. So yeah, this was a good change for me. So next book on my list, this is going to be an autobiography, and it's Greenlights. You'll get to know of his journey of being an actor, then becoming a superstar, the struggles that he did, the sacrifices he made, the risk he took, and everything. It's very inspirational, and it's also eye-opening because we kind of do not see any of that. We just see that people are getting movies back to back, they are doing movies and they become superstar, but you don't know the struggle behind it. You don't know what people sacrifice. You do not know what kind of risk they have taken, and I really like him from his movies. He was one of my favorites. So reading about him, it was amazing. He actually had a journal. So he took out some pages from it that are directly pasted in this book also. So you'll also get to know what kind of things were going on in his mind, and what kind of things he wrote in his journal, and what all things fascinate him, what were his dreams, what were his priorities, and how he wanted to live, and what all he did, and everything. So yes, I really liked it, and it was a very short read because many of the pages are just filled with the notes from his journal. So you can, basically you can just read the points and then move on. And yeah, so this book was very fast paced, not slow, and very easy to read. So if you want to pick up a book, a light read that you can read, then yeah, you can pick this one up. The next book that we are going to pick up is one very famous book by Robin Sharma, and that's The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. Now, I don't think this book needs any introduction. Many people already know of this book, and that is one of the reasons for that is its title, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. So it's very intriguing, what? And it's a very spiritual book and very beautifully written book. I really liked some of the ideas. Most importantly, I felt good while reading this book. In the starting, when I was reading it, I was bored. I didn't think that this book was for me. I thought it was just too much. But as I read it, I actually started liking the book. I actually felt good while reading this book, and some of the points made very sense. Not just that they made sense, they were very beautiful, and I agreed to those points. So yeah, overall a very good book, and yes, I absolutely loved reading this book. If you want to read a book about dreams, destiny, how to live your life, and meaning behind it, a lot of other things. If you want to read a little spiritual book, then you can pick this one up. Next that I'm going to pick up, it's another thriller that I absolutely loved and enjoy, and that I could not put it down, and it's The Girl on the Train. Now, this book was so amazing, so thrilling. I just kept wanting to read more. There are amazing twists in this book, and most importantly, it is very well written. For a thriller or for any mystery, more than anything, it's about how it is written. The writing should be in such a way that it should capture your attention. It should keep you engaged and keep you wanting more, and you should just keep turning on pages. So yes, this one is a page turner. You won't be able to stop yourself. You'll constantly want to read more. Okay, what happens now? Oh, this happened, but let me read a few more pages to get this, then something else will hit, and you will be like, just let me read a few more pages to get to know this. Then the cycle will keep on going, and you will find it very, very, very hard to put this one down. I suggest you not to read at night, otherwise you won't get any sleep, because you'll just keep saying one more chapter, and eventually it will be 3 in the morning. So yeah, an unputdownable book, very thrilling book. There are 2 movies on this book also. One Bollywood movie and one that has been made in Hollywood, but I do not suggest you watch the movie. because even if they are well made, they can never come near to the book. So read this book. The amount of thrill that you are going to get from this book, you won't get anywhere. So yes, a must read from my side. Last book that I'm going to talk about. Yes, I'm just going to talk about it at last, not that it is last on my list, and it's none other than The Secret. Now, this book was somewhat like The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Many points were similar, but what I liked about this book more was the way they were presented. It was very nice, and whatever has been said in this book is very beautiful, very positive, very empowering. Even if the points or whatever has been said in this book is not true or that won't happen, but there's no harm in abusing all those things, because basically all the book asks is to send out positive energy, to send out positive vibes, to send out positive thoughts. So even if you do not believe in manifestation, even if you do not believe in the law of attraction, even then sending out those positive energy won't hurt anyone. Sending out those positive vibes won't hurt anyone. So yeah, there is no harm in trying or doing whatever the book has asked us to do. So yes, I absolutely love this book. And this book was very, very good, very positive. And if you are struggling, that you can definitely pick this one up. It will definitely give you that peace of mind, and it will give you that positive vibes. It will give you that positive reinforcement to keep going on. So yeah, for me, this was among the best that I've read. Okay guys, so these were the 10 books that I absolutely loved this year till now. I'll read more books, so this might change by the end of the year. But yes, these were my top 10 books till now, top 10 books of 2021. I would love to know yours also, because that would be like the best books, the cream books out of all the books that you have read. Okay, so let me know 10 or maybe 5. Okay, if you do not want to pick up 10 books, you can pick up 5 books, 5 favorite books that you have read this year. Maybe less, whatever you want, but I would love to know that those will be the best books, and I'll directly add them to my list. So yes, let me know which books intrigued you this year, which books you absolutely loved reading this year, and which were those books that made it in your top 5 list, and why also. Please just give me a little brief about the book, what the book is about, and just a little. You do not have to write an entire paragraph, but if you will give me a little hint about the book, it will be easier for me to pick them up, which one is right for me or which one suits my taste. So yeah, I would definitely absolutely love to know which are your top 5 books of this year so far. So yeah, I'll see you in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for taking the time out. Thank you for being here, and yes, thank you so much. Bye bye.